Welcome to So Geo, the podcast where everyone has a story to tell.
Welcome back to the brand new episode of So Geo. Today we are joined by an incredible athlete, a woman who embodies perseverance, elegance, and pure passion. Olivia Smart.
Hi.
Born in Sheffield, she started skating at 9 years old, became a 3-time British junior champion, an Olympic finalist in Beijing, and a world medalist for Spain in 2025.
Wow, you know more about me than I do.
But here in So Geo, we want go behind the podium. And we want to discuss behind the medal too. Before we dive in, we want to ask you a surprise question.
Oh.
So if you can go back to the time and talk with the little Olivia, the first time she put a skate in Sheffield, what you want to tell her?
Oh gosh. Beware. Well, no. But I'd say the joke question I would say is get ready for the ride. That's the main one. But as a real in-depth quote or something to say to myself as a little Olivia, it would be enjoy the ride, like enjoy the roller coaster, because it is going to be a wild one. I think just prepare yourself for the wildest ride of your dreams, because it's good, bad, happy, ugly, it's everything. But I think just knowing that the ride and the ups and downs will make me the person that I am in the future, I think that is something I would definitely say to my younger self. So I wouldn't make it all roses and butterflies. I think I would be like, hey, grow some thick skin. Grow some thick skin. I know you can do it. I'd be tough on myself. Little Olivia, you got this.
Yeah, I would say the same.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I would probably tell her that and she'd be looking at me like, oh, what do you mean? And then maybe she wouldn't start figure skating, but you never know.
You started skating back in 2006 in Sheffield. You won 3 British junior titles with Joseph Clan, then represent Spain with Adrian Diaz, and today you are skating with Team Dick. That's an impressive journey. What made you fall in love with figure skating in first place, and when did that moment came when you thought, this is it? This is my life.
Well, I was a big theater kid at school. Like, I really enjoyed playing characters, singing, dancing, and like the freedom of that, and playing, I think, another role than myself. I think getting out of my head was something I liked as a kid, because I'm not very intellectually like book smart. So I think always being in my head I struggled with. So when I was performing and acting and being somebody else, I liked that a lot. But I also was really athletic and I loved sports. So when I went figure skating, I went to a foam party at the rink with friends, with my cousin and friends, like those European foam parties on a Friday night. You probably remember them. Yeah. It's not a thing in the US, but in Europe it was a big thing. And we would wear like the bracelets, the neon bracelets and stuff, the makeup. So I went to one of those and I was actually pretty decent at figure skating, but I enjoyed skating. So my mom was like, okay, if you want to keep going with your friends every weekend, I got to get you some lessons because I don't want you to hurt yourself. Because I was also playing other sports at the time, which I didn't want to miss out on because of figure skating at a foam party at the weekend. So my mom put me into some lessons and I guess I was pretty good. And one of the coaches at the rink in Sheffield said to my mom, she's very good. Like, you should put her into like higher lessons. So it's my mom's fault that we're here to this day. So I started doing more lessons and I was doing freestyle for a while and I was jumping, whatnot, and I was never good at it. I had like a huge leg wrap when I jumped. I was terrible. But I did freestyle for a while. Got to a pretty high level, but then it's when I started doing solo dance just for fun. That was a dream. I was like, oh, I get to skate, not jump, and I get to like perform. And I was like singing along to my pieces of music and was like loved it so much, and I won, I think, every solo dance competition I did from there, and I was like, oh, like I like this. I think that's when I realized this is what I enjoy doing the most, but I never thought anything beyond that. I just thought, okay, like solo dance, it's a very short-lived career, especially back then. Solo dance wasn't a big thing as it is now, or a bigger thing as it is now. I was also at the age where my friends were going to parties and I wanted to go, but I also couldn't because I had to skate on a Saturday morning. And I was in that phase of, okay, do I want to keep going, or do I want to, be with my friends and not miss out on life stuff? But it was my mom and my parents that kept pushing me to do it. And then I had an opportunity to try ice dance with a partner, which I thought was the most bizarre thing in the world, like skating with a guy. I was like, oh God. But I was like, huh? How old was I? I was 13, 14 years old.
Okay, yeah.
So my moment of this is my life didn't happen for a while, clearly. But I did this tryout. There was like 10 or 11 other girls on the ice at the same time.
Whoa.
A line of girls, one guy, Joseph Buckland. And we would all just try. It was like a petting zoo. It was weird. But I never done this before, so I thought this was the normal. Anyway, he chose me. And I was like, oh God, I didn't mean for this to happen. Like, I just did this just for fun. Like, I didn't intentionally actually want to do ice dance. But the next thing you know, I have an ice dance partner and I'm like skating more now, and not just for myself, but like for somebody else. Like, yep. I'm like, oh, I have to show up now. Like, I couldn't go to a party with friends and come in the next day tired. I was like, oh, this is different. So there was a struggle of that for a while, but then it was that moment where I was like, okay, I either have to really do this because I have to show up not just for me now, but for a partner, or I have to call it quits. I went to the US with him for a while, and my parents sent me there for training with him just for the experience. And I think in that summer when I was in the US, I was in a completely different country for like 3 or 4 months, like in the summer. I'd met new friends. I had a different experience in the sport. I think that was the turning point for me of, oh, like there's life beyond England for me as well. I think just getting out of my bubble of friends, school, family, and just experiencing something else, and also experiencing something else that nobody else really gets to experience. I really enjoyed being like the odd one out, or like the unique person. And all my friends were like, oh my God, she's in America. And I was also like, yes, I am. So I always enjoyed being different. And I think that was the moment where I was like, okay, like, I think I can move my life and achieve things beyond figure skating in England and just staying in England in general. I think experiencing another lifestyle, being in another country, not just for vacation, like for training and for work. I think that was something that really shocked my sister, and also such a privilege and random experience to experience at 14 years old. Like, I went to the US alone with my skating partner and his brother and his skating partner. So like, I didn't go with family or friends. I went with people that I barely knew and my own. So just having that experience at such a young age was so rare. Also, I wouldn't say I wouldn't recommend it, but like, it taught me how to grow up really fast.
Yeah, it's most of the time like this, because when I need to move in Milano or in Moscow, it's right away like you need to understand how you need to cook for yourself, or like basic stuff. But
laundry.
You not even see people and that do for you.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I have to make my own bed. I was like, how do you do that? Like, nobody teaches you that. I remember like watching YouTube videos because like, because I was very lucky and privileged as a kid. Like, me and my family were so close, and like, it wasn't until I left away to another country where I was like, oh God, I gotta like learn how to do this stuff. I did live with a family when I moved there. So I did have their help quite a bit with like some cooking, cleaning and whatnot, but like still like shocked the system. But I grew up a lot faster because of that. And I was always like people always thought I was older than I was just by, I think, my mannerisms and the way I was acting. Plus my skating partner and his brother and his skating partner that I would spend all my time with I was 14 and they were 18, 20, 22, like a lot older than me.
Yeah.
So I was the baby of the group for a very, very long time. So yeah, the moment of moving to the US and being like, okay, this is my life. And then I never went back to England from then. Like I never moved back. I went back to see family, but like that moment of me going to the US, I'd never realized that would be the moment I leave England for my career.
And that you don't live with your family.
No. I just packed a suitcase to go for 4 months, just thinking it was like a summer camp thing. And then I came back for a week and then I went back and I don't think I ever came back. Yeah.
It was the same for me at 14. I got my first apartment and I was like 8 hours drive from my family. And for me it was like, okay, I need to cook something. What's it?
Oh, I'm hungry. What do I do?
And you know, I remember that the first 3 weeks it was only pasta because that was the only thing I could do, you know? And I was like, okay, maybe I should do something else than pasta.
Yeah.
Was fun.
Yeah, but it's like those basic things that we don't take for granted as a kid, but we just don't think of when you have to make that step. It's like I actually went to a few children's schools a couple of years ago in Montreal and did a few talks at like their assemblies and classes. I had the chance to speak to kids that were going from high school to college or elementary school to high school, like that shift and that change and not knowing how to deal with it and that stuff, and like just using like my experience of going from home to the US and that one culture shock and learning process into like adulthood. I was like able to go and speak to kids about that, and it was crazy how much they resonated with what I experienced to what they were about to experience. Like going from high school to college, like when you go to college and you have a dorm room and you stay there. For kids it's the most terrifying thing, but just knowing kind of what to expect and how to deal with it, I think is really smart. But you don't, as much as you can be ready and expect what it's going to feel like until you're living it, then you know.
Yeah. In 2016, you made a major decision. You decided to skate for Spain. So how did you experiment this? Change the country, change the culture, and change even the flag. So,
God, that feels like a lifetime ago. Now that I think about it, what year was it? 2016.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
yeah.
Whoa. Wow, that's a long time ago. So yeah, I think I was never really invested in ice dance and like the world of figure skating. I just enjoyed the sport, but I was not somebody that sat at home and watched ice dance videos or like watched old ice dance videos. My coach at the time was Evgeny Platov, who was Olympic champion, very good, but I only knew of him in the figure skating world. I didn't know of Tessa and Scott, Igor Spielband, Marina Zueva, or Meryl and Charlie. I didn't watch these bigger teams, so I didn't really have that much knowledge in the skating world. So when it came to me and Joseph splitting and me being like, oh, how do you find a new partner? Like, my tryout in England was very weird and normal and petting zoo vibe. But how do you find a partner when I'm in the US, I'm halfway across the world and I skate for Great Britain? Like, there's no British guys here. Then someone introduced me to Partnership Search, the website, the old school figure skating dating app. I was like, this is really weird, guys. But of course I used that website, and then Adrian and Sarah split, so we teamed up. But then of course I had the trial of Adrian, and I was like, oh, okay, like for sure he's gonna represent Great Britain with me. Like I just didn't think anything of it. And then, of course, it made sense when logistically I sat with him or sat with my parents and spoke about it, or sat with my coaches, and they were like, I think it makes sense for you to represent Spain due to the passport and the Olympics. And I'm like, what do you mean passport and Olympics? Like, whoa, this is actually like becoming like actually a big deal now. This isn't just I'm having fun at junior competitions, junior worlds. Like we're talking like
Yeah.
life-changing career decision. But logistically, to represent Spain was the way to go at this point. If Adrian would have represented Great Britain with me, the passport situation becomes a big deal, of course. We're going to the Olympics and representing your country. For the rest of the other competitions, would have been fine. It's just the Olympics you need your passport for, as you know. But as a figure skater, that's your long-term, lifelong dream to go to the Olympics. So you want to make sure you have the green light. So getting a British passport for Adrian, I don't think was the easiest thing. I think we had to live in the UK for a certain amount of time and all that jazz. So we pushed that aside. And I was introduced to the Spanish Federation, and they were so welcoming, very confident in Adrian and I starting as a partnership, and also very confident in us getting me getting a passport for Spain. And it all just happened very fast and also very casually. I was then like in Spain holding a passport, and I was like, oh my God, I have another country's passport that I'm not connected to or related to whatsoever. Like, I got this passport due to my career and what we could do in the sport and our results. And that's like amazing. Like whenever I tell somebody that's not from the sport, they're like, so you just got a passport? And I'm like, yeah, to go to the Olympic Games for Spain, because Spain's team is really small, and what they could see in us and our potential was there. And I was very, very lucky and very grateful to get that passport in the time that I did. Also, Brexit happened months after, so I stayed part of the EU because of my Spanish passport. That was unplanned. But the change of country and the change of, I think, just connection and the connection to where I'm from and my country in general. I think I got over the idea of representing Great Britain pretty fast, just because I knew my goals could go in the right direction with Spain. Yeah. Whereas for Great Britain, it would have been a lot harder, and our sport is already hard. Yeah. Like, I don't need to make it harder. And Spain just really made it possible for me in terms of support, funding, the passport. And Adrian, like, he was already at this point when I started skating with him, like a really qualified, experienced skater. He'd already been to the Olympics, World Championship, Europeans. So I'm skating with like a veteran athlete at this point. So I'm going to just follow in his footsteps and trust him as well. And I'm really glad I did. But the support from the skating world and me representing Spain was incredible. Going out and seeing Spanish flags held up for the first time, of course, was very weird, but I got used to it very fast. Yeah, because the support that I got was better than anything I could have imagined. So I really took that with a lot of pride and was very grateful that they welcomed me so much, and still do to this day.
Oh, yeah, so cute. And that world medal with team in 2025. What does it represent for you now?
That world medal for the free dance in 2025, I'd say it represents the patience and commitment that I've had, not just to the sport, but to representing Spain as well. Like, that change I made representing Great Britain to Spain, moving away, getting a new partner, then taking a break, and then getting a new partner. It just, all of it put into one, the patience, perseverance, and, well, commitment it took in that space of everything that happened put into this medal. I feel like it just represents that, the journey that I went through to get there so unexpectedly as well, was like, that's, for me, that's what that medal represents. I think just the shift in energy of my goals in the sport and what I wanted to achieve. And I wanted to be at the top. I wanted to get all the medals. I wanted to be up there with everybody else. And then when I came back with Tim, shifting that to, I just really miss skating and I really want to skate. And I know I'm good and I can be good, but I just want to skate. Yeah. And make memories for myself, for everybody else. And I think letting that go and being, I think the word would be like abundant or like vulnerable to success was the reason why I think it came as well. I think when you're really hungry for success, or for me, when I'm really hungry for something, it can be sometimes a negative. I think when I step back from the pressure that I give myself, I think that's when my light can shine a bit more than when it does when I'm really hard on myself. And yeah, that's what it means to me, that medal. It's crazy. It's on my mantelpiece at home, and I always look at it like, whoa, okay. That's crazy because I haven't medaled in many places. Like, I got my first Grand Prix medal in 2022 with Adrian, like first one and only one. Okay. And then I got another one last season with Tim, a bronze medal. So I only have 2 bronze Grand Prix medals, which for me is huge, but like not really done much other than that. I've had opportunities to, but I've not been super consistent. And then to say I have those 2 and then like a world medal, it's like, it's a pretty big jump. Yeah. I'm like, I missed some in between, but I'm, so grateful for that. Like that moment, that piece of material that I have and the memories that's collected behind it of just getting there to that moment. Yeah.
But for you, what is the biggest challenge to change the partner and like start again? So like it's when we change the partner, we start from the beginning, not from the beginning, but all the time it's new steps.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think when I partnered up with Tim, I thought it would be kind of easy. Yeah, I thought it would be easy-ish because my intention was different. I just wanted to come back to the sport and skate and just enjoy it. But then when it came to actually performing, going out to competition, in training, it was great. But going out to competition and performing, I think that's where I realized, oh, this is really difficult. Because when you're at competition, adrenaline hits, nerves hits. You barely know each other. You don't know how to deal with each other's stress, how to help each other. That was the moment where I realized, oh, this is really difficult. The skating side of it was difficult, but I had to approach each day with patience because Tim came from a Russian background of skating and I came from a Russian background of skating, but then I moved to Montreal and I was there for 8-9 years at this point. So I had lost that Russian style of skating. So when we partnered up and we started skating together, I was like, oh, this feels familiar, but I don't know if I like it because like the knee bend, the difference way in like extension, like the leans, like it was, we'd go into an exercise and we'd be curving this way and we'd be like, oh, and I'm like, why is he doing that? But it's the Russian style as well. And it's so different. So when we started skating together, we said we would try and mesh the way he skates and the way he and I skate and like make like a hybrid. That was a lot harder than I expected though, because we'd be like, oh God. And it wasn't super natural, but I'd say the skating side of it, it was just like for me, I learned a lot about patience and partnering and knowing when to ask for things, knowing when to step back, like just the communication as well of being a partner and that side of it. I did a lot of work off ice with our life coach, with Adrian, but the skill set that I learned from that time period of 8 years already with Adrian really helped me when I started working with Tim. But then Tim was then introduced to the world of off-ice mental coaching with Stephanie Hanlon, who we work with. And it was crazy to sit on a call with him and Stephanie and listen to her speaking to Tim like a beginner. Yeah. Because he was. And hearing the lessons and the facts that he was learning that I had learned 8 years ago. And it was so humbling for me to sit there and listen to that and also watch him learn how to learn the mental off-ice aspect of partnership and skating. And I really enjoyed that side of it, but it was just so different and not what I expected. But the challenge was the off-ice side of it, the connection, the comfort, the communication. Because Tim and I started skating together and we were really good friends, which really helped us. But I think turning that friendship into something bigger than just getting on the ice, having fun and bouncing around, like we had to align with goals, our communication, well, even like our breaking points, like kind of like what your limits are as to like pushing each other, like those things. It took us a really long time, and it's still taking us time to this day. We're only 3 seasons in. We still have a lot to learn about each other, and we're still learning to this day. Like, we had a call on Friday because we had a clash, and we're not there yet where we know how to deal with it fully, where we don't use the professional help. Like, we don't want to tarnish our relationship, but we're on something what we call the fast track, Tim and I, because we're a newer team, 3 years, and we need to be skating like we're a team at 10 plus years.
Yep.
So we're trying to push that amongst ourselves and the way our relationship can develop quicker. But it's also something really hard that you can't force. So there's like
in between.
Yeah. So I'd say the off-ice mental aspect, communication, is the hardest part. I think a lot of people would think it's the skating and the physical aspect, which is, yeah, of course. But you can fake that. You can fake the physical part.
No.
Like, skating is pretty fake when you put it together.
Yes,
Like,
so
you're skating, but you're forcing things in ways. You're performing, but you're in pain. But the connection and the relationship, you cannot fake.
No.
So I'd say that is the biggest challenge. Yeah. My answers are also like 10 minutes long, so I'm so sorry. It's always the same.
It's perfect.
Okay,
It's perfect.
great.
The next European take place in your home tower, Sheffield. So, what is for you? It's special stuff or something like?
Yeah. Yeah, when they announced Sheffield Europeans, I think Tim and I had just partnered up. I was like, oh, wow, that could be cool. But I never thought we would actually be there and stuff like that until now this season has hit. I went home this summer to Sheffield, and I was with John Luke, and he had the idea. He's like, we should go to the arena, like where it is. And it's funny because in 2022, when I went home after the games in that season, I went to a concert at that arena.
Oh.
And Europeans was already announced that it was going to be there. But when I was at the concert at that arena, I wasn't even thinking like, oh, I'm going to be competing here soon. Like, that's crazy to me now. It will be quite incredible for me to be competing at home in general. I've never, ever had the chance to do that. And honestly, like, competing in Sheffield, I feel like is a very rare occasion anyway. It's a very small city, but it's the only competitive skating city still to this day in England. Like, that's where they host most of the big events. I've just never had the chance to do it or be there. I've always had the worst timing with that. The season that Adrian retired and I wasn't skating, they had a Grand Prix there in Sheffield. I was like, oh, great timing. Perfect. Fantastic. Of course, I'm not competing right now. I was actually, the last time there was Europeans in England was in Sheffield. I'm unclear of what year. I think it was like 2009 or later. I had just started skating with Joseph Buckland, actually. And I was one of the medal girls. Oh. I took on the medals in the British outfit. The long skirt, I looked like an air hostess, but there was like 3 or 4 girls that took on the medals to the ice dance event at Europeans, which in that moment, I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but full circle moment, I'm going to be competing there in January. I remember taking my medal on to Fabian, Natalie and Fabian, and I had the biggest crush on Fabian. I was like, oh my God. And then full circle moment, I took a medal onto Fabian, and then when I moved to the US, I was in Detroit for a year, and Fabian was my coach. Oh, yeah. So that full circle moment as well. But yeah, going from being a medal girl to competing at the European Championships at the same place in 2026, also being the competition prior to the Olympics makes it that even more special.
And it's like 20 years later.
Yeah.
Also, it's crazy.
It's a long time. I'll show you a before picture, and then I'll take a picture at Europeans in Sheffield of me competing. Cool. It'll be very different.
Oh my God.
It's really cool and really, really special. I don't think many people realize how special it is for me because I represent Spain.
Yeah.
But out of the Great Britain team, I am the one that's from that place, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, they're all British skaters, but like, I'm sorry, this is my home Europeans.
Yeah.
Like, this is like mine. Like, the amount of family members and friends that I will have in that crowd. I actually am also, my school, my girls' high school that I was at, they have over 200 kids coming to watch the rhythm dance.
So cool.
They bought tickets. They messaged me and they're like, is there a way we can come watch? And then I put them in contact with the organizing committee and they booked out like a full section. They're going to be there for the rhythm dance day, which is crazy because one of the girls that was in 2 years ahead of me is now the head mistress of this junior school. And she's the one making it happen. So like,
wow.
yeah, it's very cool. My grandma that is super old and doesn't get to travel, she's gonna get to come watch.
Oh my god. It's gonna be incredible for
It's
you.
crazy. Like, even like my mom's friends who she talks to all the time about me skating, but like know me as a little girl but haven't seen me lately, and then they get to see me skate at this point in my career is like not just for me but for my mom, for my dad, for my grandparents who have supported me through this journey of 20 years skating. They get to be there in that moment with me, seeing me skate 10 minutes away from home. Like, for them as well, for the whole experience, for the memory that is going to be made there, it's a full heartwarming experience for me, family, friends, everybody. And I'm very grateful I get to have that before my career ends, because that's something that, like I said, I've always missed out on those special moments of Sheffield Grand Prix, like those competitions. And now I'm like, oh, I actually get to have it. And I'm going to cherish every single moment of it.
And you know what? The beautiful could be like you win the medal
Mhm.
and you see this little girl like Olivia
Yeah.
with the medal. And you're like, oh my god, it was
It's me! You'll be here in 20 years.
oh my god, it's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's the goal. It's like those like home competition moments that I have watched people experience before, like Alison and Sol in Lithuania, like those moments that I get to sit and watch my friends experience. I'm like, oh, maybe I could have that moment, like, for once in my career. And that's the goal. And just overall the full circle of having everybody I know from home in the crowd while I'm doing what I have done for the last 20 years and put my life and soul into will be very, very special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So now let's speak about the medal. You once say, I've had a hard time. I've learned a lot from this show. You were talking about Dancing on Ice with Neil Wilson, and that was a key moment in your journey, and really want to understand what was behind this statement.
Yeah, Dancing on Ice was a whole journey on its own. Like that experience, the show, and the people that I met and just spent that period of my life with was very special. I was in a period of my life where I was experiencing grief, anger, separation. There was a lot of emotions that I got on the flight from Montreal to England with. And I was leaving in Montreal to go and do a reality figure skating TV show for 8 months. And I needed it. When the opportunity came around, I was like, oh, weird. Is this something I want to do? Like, Christopher Dean reached out to me himself and asked me to do the show. And I was honored, but I was also like, is this what I want to do? Because as a figure skater, that's literally 4 months prior, just come from the Olympic Games, the biggest stage in the world, the 1% of the world that get to experience this, going and now doing a reality TV show. Is this what I want to be doing? Is this the person that I want to be putting myself out there as? Because I know in the figure skating world, it's kind of not frowned upon, but once you're, I don't know, at a top level, and then, for example, you go and do Disney on Ice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in the figure skating world, I do think people look down on those moments. Like, they think you're devalued in a way. Unfortunately, that question went through my head, and that fear of what other people would think about me and what they were going to judge me as a person, as an athlete doing this. And I remember having those thoughts and being like, what the heck? Like, why am I doing that? Because I'm at a stage in my life where I don't have anything happening and I want something so bad. I have an opportunity to go home to England to do something that I love, that I'm missing out on, which is figure skating, and be on television. Who cares what everybody else thinks? Like, I'm sorry, but screw them. Like, I don't care. And it was the same year that Ashley Kane from the US went from the same situation and joined Disney on Ice as the head Elsa, and traveled the world more than any of us have and experienced things that nobody else would ever get to experience. And like, just two skaters that just come from the Olympics doing things like that, I thought was like a huge movement and a huge impact to what people think of those moments. And as athletes going and doing things as what they would call downgrading after, it was the opposite. I felt like I'd upgraded my career.
Yeah, because we need to think about after career.
Bingo.
And in fact, you only do what you love because you do skating, show. So, it
was
it's opened some door for the rest of the athlete. I think like you show the track to go maybe in some like even like in boat or like some special show where it's special guests. So good athlete.
Exactly.
To show the way to go
and
this.
It's what we're good at. And like, you use the skill set that you're good at in life. And like, we're all fantastic athletes, figure skaters, people. Like, use your skill set to your advantage. Like, it's better than going and sitting in a 9-to-5 desk job that we're not very good at, but you're getting paid. But you can also get paid and go do something that you enjoy and you love, and you're having amazing experiences. No matter if you were at the Olympics 4 months ago and now you're on a cruise ship doing shows, like, good for you. If you're doing something that you love.
And for sure, it's like if more athletes go in this Disney on Ice or something like this, the level of this show for me grow up too, like, because the level be more high. So
I understand some skaters want to just be done with skating when they retire. I understand that, but if there's skaters out there that don't want to be done when they retire, like those opportunities are there for a reason.
Let them be.
Exactly. And like you said, it might change the game of the skating shows. It might elevate the shows in another way. Like, there was a Cirque du Soleil skating show. Like, Cirque du Soleil is worldwide huge. So like, for me, like, taking that decision to go do it was just like a big thing and a big moment in my life. I was at a period in my personal life as well where I was like, I just want to GTFO. I wanted to go back home and be like in my mom's lap. I was like, I need to be here. And the idea of that just felt for me, like, everything happens for a reason, and this was given to me for a reason, clearly. And it was also something that nobody else has done before. There's never been an Olympic figure skater and dancing on ice. And I like being different and doing things for the first time. So I was cool. So doing dancing on ice was such a new experience because I was experienced in what I was doing, but I was so new to the show and the reality TV skating world. But I knew I had the social skill set that was good enough to at least go on the show. And I think that's the moment where I realized that I am something beyond figure skating. When I was on the show and speaking to the camera and interacting, I was like, oh, I'm fine. I'm pretty fine. Like, I'm going to be good after skating. I don't just need to call myself Olivia the figure skater. Like, I do have confidence beyond who that person is. And just meeting the people that I did on the show as well, like, opened my eyes to just a whole new world. And also being back in the UK, like, putting myself and immersing myself into the culture and people, and even the socializing again with British people is so different. Like, I can imagine for the both of you socializing with French people and the comedy and the natural way it is for you than speaking to like English people is very different. So when I went home, I was like, this is my people. Like, I am home. This is it. And I just felt so comfortable. And I loved it. It was 8 months that felt like 2 weeks. It flew by. I was very lucky to be partnered with Niall because he became my best friend. Yeah. Like, overnight we met and I was like, well, they told me who my partner was prior. And I remember doing some research and seeing who he was. I was like, oh, he's like pretty famous. Like, he's an Olympic gymnast and a medalist at the games, but he had a personality and an online presence that was out of gymnastics as well. And that was exactly what I was looking for. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, he's a retired Olympic gymnast who has made a career for himself past that. I'm like, this was a sign for me.
Everything happened for a week.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, this is my person. I'm going to learn a lot from this guy. We became best friends overnight. I met his family. I met his manager. Like, just everybody that I was surrounded with him became really good friends of mine. And also, like, pillars in my career as well. They've helped me get to where I am today as well. Like, I worked with his sister, who was his manager for a while and then became mine for a little bit. Like, the connections and relationships that I made through that was also incredible. Still to this day. Niall was in Montreal a couple of weeks ago, actually. Came to visit for a week and we got to spend some time together finally again. And like, who would have thought that doing the show was also going to open up a lifelong friendship as well. And also for my parents, that experience doing that show, because this is also a show that I used to watch as a kid. Like, every Sunday night, it's like Dancing with the Stars or those shows that you always usually watch. I always used to watch the show as a kid. And my parents, to this day, since I moved away from England, it's the show to put on a Sunday night TV. And then to say that I'd be doing the show was crazy. Even my friends, like, I went to school with, they would always just watch Dancing on Ice casually. But now they were like, oh, we're watching it because our friend is on the show. We're invested now. But my parents got to come to the live shows and just experience that and also meet, like, celebrities. Like, the show is with celebrities. Yes. Like, the host of the show at the time was Holly Willoughby and Philip Schofield, who were big TV show presenters who we literally watch on TV every single morning because they had a morning show and they hosted Dancing on Ice. But then my parents got to meet them. I got to meet them, but my parents meeting them was like a crazy, crazy thing where they take the picture, they post it on Facebook and all this. So just to have watch my parents experience that as well was just humbling. And also it felt like I was finally able to give something back to my parents that wasn't paying for figure skating and watching me on television at competitions. They were able to, like, experience something with me and something new that, like, was their world as well. And that was so special. Like, I got to invite 2 people every Sunday to the live show, and I got to invite, like, 2 of my school friends with me to come watch as well, and, like, just watching them experience it, like, it was very, very different, very cool, and very heartwarming. And, like, I left that experience with a pack full of memories and also a pack full of experience as a skater, because I was also skating with somebody that couldn't skate, that learned how to skate. And then I had to take coach role, choreographer role. I had to skate next to this person that couldn't skate and make them look good, make myself look good. Like, just the skill set that I learned as well from that and taking that back to competing was a whole other thing. Like, I asked Mary France before I did the show, I was like, do you think this is a good idea? Like, should I do it? And she said that when she did Battle of the Blades, that it was the best experience for her because she learned so much about partnering that when she came back, she had a whole different view and aspect on skating. And it was the exact same for me. And I remember going out onto the live shows for Dancing on Ice, very nervous, but, like, it wasn't about me. It was about helping Niall and, like, making him look good. And then it also took the pressure off of me a little bit. And I remember one of my first competitions with Tim, going out onto the ice and being so nervous and saying to myself, come on, Olivia, you've been to the Olympics and you skated on live television. You're fine. And I remember it, like, calmed me down because it made competing seem like a little less, not less important, but, like, I put less pressure on myself. I was like, I've done this big thing at the Olympics, and I've done this huge thing skating on live television, like on reality TV in England. It's pretty big. I was like, I can do this competition in Bratislava. Like, I'm fine. Like, just bringing myself back down to earth a little bit. So yeah, that like dancing on ice was, I go through the pictures on my phone and I'm like, this is a really special time. But also it went by so fast.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But what is the hardest part in this experience? Because example, when we do like French tour, it's like super cool. We enjoy every moment. We pass really good time, but in some points we get like exhausted and tired. Like it's super hard this part. So you get this feeling in end of the, or absolutely no, it depends maybe.
I'd say it's a little different. Yes, I was exhausted, but in such a different way. Physically, fine. Mentally, screwed. Because they didn't highlight the skating. They highlight the reality TV side of it. So the amount of interviews, camera talking, replays, hair, makeup, all of that stuff that was more important than the skating was a crazy aspect for me. On live show days, so our schedule looks like we would train Monday to Friday. We would take the train from where we were training to London. Saturday, we would do a full dress rehearsal. We would train and then we would make our costumes with the people there on the spot.
Oh, okay. It was fast.
Yeah, they would have like an idea, but they would then put them together then when you were there. You would then practice with hair and makeup. Then you would go out on the ice and you would do camera blocking. So you have to do your routine, but the TV camera is for the camera to follow. And it's a full day rehearsals because as a pro skater as well, you have the pro numbers, the opening, the finale. So we were there Saturday, 7 till 8 p.m.
Oh my God.
Sunday, I was in hair and makeup most Sundays at 6 a.m.
How?
6 a.m., sat in my chair. We all stay in a hotel and then they get you a car. At 6 a.m., I was in hair and makeup and I was already having my makeup done for the 5:30 p.m. show at 6 a.m.
What?
My skin hated them.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So I'm in the makeup room, 6 a.m. Then I go and get breakfast and then I have hair and then I have a costume and then dress rehearsal starts around 1. Then we do dress rehearsal full and then we have like another practice. Then you have makeup touch-ups, then you have hair touch-ups. Boom, you're in the live show. Like 6 till the show ended at 8:30 and then there's an after party, like food and stuff. So your day's ending at 10 p.m. at least.
Oh my God.
So Saturday, Sunday was like the 2 longest days of my life, but it was because it was my first time doing it. I loved it, every moment of it. Like I remember taking naps though in my you have like a little cabin. I remember taking a nap in a full hair and makeup and like a wig that was like this. And I remember like taking a nap on my sofa like this. And I was like, what is my life? But it's such long days. And then that Monday, the next day, you're back in the rink filming with the crew. And you have to like fake you're like, you don't know your music and you're telling your partner for the first time. There's a script, like just acting on demand all the time. And also it's Monday morning the next day after 2 long days and you have to show up. But also know that you're going to be on television, so you also have to look good. Like, I think towards the end of the show, you saw me slowly give up in the way I presented myself. So, like, I remember one Monday morning, Niall and I had, like, they wanted to film something fun because we were doing Mission Impossible for music. Yeah. And they wanted us to find out what our music was while in a speed racing car. Okay. So I keep saying Tim and I. Niall and I would sit in the back of the car and there's a TV crew in the front. Yeah. And they filmed us driving in this speed racing car in helmets. And then me being like, Niall, our music for this week. But we had some drinks the night before because we are like, I think both of our families were there. We were both aggressively hungover. And this is live television. Like, they're not, well, this is recorded to be then put on television the week after. So Niall and I are like, Niall, this is our music for. So just those experiences were so crazy. And I have way more stories than just that one about it. But it's just, in that way, it was absolutely exhausting because of that. The skating side of it was easy.
Yeah, I think it's more like social, like
Yeah.
it takes your energy, like
Reality TV,
you need to
clearly.
be like so fresh all the time,
All the time. But
energy and
yeah. It made me appreciate and respect what reality TV stars do on an everyday basis. So when I watch Love Island now, I watch it from a very different perspective because it's not just casual what they do. There's so many scripts and so many things they have to do. One of the production girls that worked on Dancing on Ice with us works on Love Island and all these other shows, and she tells us what they have to do, and I'm like, oh my god, it's crazy.
Yeah. We not like expect this because we not see the like
Behind the
backstage.
scenes.
Behind the scene,
the practice, the how you need to manage everything, how we come here, like
So different. So yeah, figure skating shows very different to a reality TV figure skating show. Like, but when I came back to figure skating, I was like, oh, this is easy. So yes, different.
Okay, you also said you had read some really harsh thing about yourself online. Was there a particular moment or comment that stuck with you? How did you handle that?
There was one comment that stayed with me, and I remember it. It's like engraved in my brain, unfortunately. It was after our Tim and I's first competition last season together. Of course, I opened the app X, which is literally do not open X. Do not open it. I opened that, and I remember seeing a comment after a competition that we didn't do great at. So I was already down, and then I opened this app, and I saw a comment that said something along the lines of, she should have stuck with Dancing on Ice.
Okay.
And it's such a small comment, but it hit me so hard because my mom and dad were also two people that would have loved for me to have stuck with Dancing on Ice and did Dancing on Ice for a few more years rather than coming back to competition because they saw me thrive on Dancing on Ice. And they see me struggle in the competitive world. It's so different. Like, being a competitive athlete, it's not just medals and winning all the time. There's the ups and downs, and your parents see the downs more than the ups sometimes because it kind of overpowers it.
as I know what is your dream, so I think when you not get your dreams, they are like more sad of when you finally achieve something like
And when you speak with them, most of the time you like say the down stuff.
Yes,
not really the up stuff.
Exactly.
Like,
when I get on the phone with them, I'm not like, oh my god, I did this. I'm like, well, like I had this today. It's true. Yeah. You highlight the downs a little bit more.
It's hardly you say, yeah, I do good. Like most of the time you say, yeah, I do good, but
there's a but. There's always a but after. Yeah, that's true. So when I came back from Dancing on Ice to competitive skating, I'd say the reaction to me coming back was like 50-50. Like some people were like, oh, why? And some people were like, oh my God, yay. So that already on its own was hard. So then after a hard competition that I was not so happy with, hearing and seeing somebody say she should have stuck with Dancing on Ice, it was just like a dagger to my heart. Because in that moment, I was thinking I should have stuck with Dancing on Ice because the competition was bad. But I didn't want it to validate what I was feeling. So yeah, some harsh comments were made. And in that moment, I remember just feeling so much anger to the power that people had online over me. I was like, why am I letting these people like rule what I feel so much? Like, and this is me, a 28-year-old confident woman who's experienced God knows how much. And I can say I'm pretty confident. I've got thick skin. But in this moment, I just felt like the smallest person in the world. And the thing that went through my brain was, I really hope younger skaters are not opening this app and seeing stuff written about them, because if I'm opening this app and seeing what's written about me and I feel like this, I can't imagine what younger skaters are feeling when they open it, because they don't have the skill set or the experience or the confidence that I have yet. So I was just like, I can't believe people have like the freedom to write stuff like this online.
Yeah, sometimes the people not imagine how the comment can be affect us. Like even sometimes you just open, and I think every people need to know the skater see what they read.
Yeah.
So even you not write for them, they see what
see
you
it.
read about them.
Yeah, and that's why on my video I was just like, we see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like what you're
Yeah, and especially when it's like attack to the physique or like the choice of music or costume, like you don't know what's happened in the life of the people, why they choose this costume, why they act like this. So just careful of what you say.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just need to read what you write and be careful
and think about it before you press post. Yeah, like, and because of the anger I had in that moment, I took a video of myself speaking about it, and it said exactly that. I was like, I'm not saying you can't have an opinion. I'm not saying you can't say something, but you just need to know we do use this application. We all use Twitter, we all use Instagram, and we see what you're writing. And there's after effects with that.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying like you can't say anything, because we're in a judge sport.
Yeah.
People are always going to make comments. Everybody has an opinion. But I just wanted it to be known to people online and to fans, like, we do see what you say.
But there's a way to say it also.
Exactly.
And if they're in front of you, they won't say it like when they're behind the screen.
Exactly.
No.
Being behind the screen, oof, you got thicker skin. Yeah. So it's just, I wanted to just acknowledge, just to teach people, like, we do see it. So just be careful what you say. Like, you can continue what you're saying, maybe choose somewhere else to talk about it, or I'm not sure, because Twitter, less now, but a couple of years ago, was the place for us when we finished skating to go and see our feedback. To go, and if we want to watch our skate, it's not on YouTube right away. We go on Twitter because it's most likely post there. And even sometimes our PDF, like our score sheet, like, we didn't see it online right afterwards sometimes. So we would go on Twitter because other sources online would have it. So exactly. So most of the time we would also go on Twitter for our own knowledge of what we just produced in competition. Even to this day, like, instead of going online to find out how a competition was, you go on Twitter because people are live broadcasting it. So we see the comments that are made. So anyway, I made this video, and people appreciated it, which I was very shocked about, very happy about, because people did go a little quiet online. People still, of course, talk, but I'm a bit more aware of what I look for now. Like, I don't physically go and look for stuff. I think that's really hard on yourself. But at the same time, we're all only human.
Yeah.
And some people do have a harder time with that. And I still have days where I'm like, oh, I wonder what people thought about my costume. Like, but it's a death trap.
And sometimes it's fun. I was there, right? Like, just sometimes, like, we read that, like, this is fun, like, good punchline.
Yeah. Sometimes you read things and you're like, oh, I didn't know that about myself. So yeah, if you can look at it in a comedic way, sometimes it is the best. But I wouldn't recommend people going and looking for the stuff. No. But at the same time, sometimes people post nice things and you want to see the nice things. People post pictures. And
when you see the nice thing, there's
always one underneath that's not so nice. So yeah, they should highlight the ones that we can see more than the others. But yeah, that was a big moment as well for me in my career, I think, because making the choice to come back to skating was purely out of the fact that I love the sport and I love the way it makes me feel. And then I have these people that are making me not love the sport and making me not love the way I feel. So I was like, okay, like, I want to separate these two and kind of, take a stand for the skating world and the younger community of skaters that are coming up into what could be their career and their life choice.
Yeah, it's fun.
But for you, what is really backside of the medal. If you can say one thing, the people not see like what is for you.
I'd run it back to what we just talked about. I'd say it's the criticism, the criticism, not just the negative comments that you see online, but even the feedback from competitions from judges. You go out at competition, you are trying your absolute best, like you're doing everything that you possibly can in that moment, from what you've trained for weeks, months, years, to then get a score, whether you're happy with it or not, and then get feedback from the judges or online, and you get feedback that you're like, huh? Like, what? And you're just confused. You're left confused because you're only trying your best. We all are every single day when we compete. Like, you're literally putting yourself out there on the ice like a monkey in a cage to get judged.
Yep.
And that's terrifying.
Yep.
And then you come off the ice and you get feedback and you're like, oh,
You're just not enough.
we're not enough.
Yeah.
And that's really, really hard, I'd
Yeah.
say. Like, but that's what our sport is.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's not going to change.
Yeah, but in some way, it's how it's push us to
It
do
pushes you.
better and better.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. Like,
the reality is like,
the reality is like, why would you do that? What, like, why would you voluntarily do that every single day? But I'd say that the feedback is the hardest part because it doesn't make you feel good, but it's what pushes us to be better and to do better every day.
Yeah.
And we crave pressure. We crave motivation.
Yep.
That's why we're doing what we do. And even like the pressure of going out and performing every day at competitions, like that feeling and those nerves, I hate it. Like, it makes me feel anxious, makes me feel nauseous. And I'm always like, why am I doing this to myself? But then when I had a break and I like didn't have a competitive career for a bit, I craved that feeling. Like, we craved the pressure. And that's something that I had to put into perspective as well. Like, I remember watching the Olympic qualifier in Beijing a couple of months ago and imagining the stress that was going through all of these athletes' heads and the nerves. And if there was one thing that I could have said to everybody in that moment would have been, enjoy the pressure, because it, like, when you don't have it, you miss it so much.
Yeah, I guess like as an athlete, we're built like for that, you
Mhm.
crave that. And like it's been maybe 2 years, 1 year that I stopped skating. And like, I crave that. Like to find this thing, like to, how to say, to like, I don't know, like to find this thing. And like I have so many projects and I'm trying, to find this, but like it's almost impossible.
Unfortunately, nothing compares to being an athlete, I feel, when you take a step away from it. You try and replicate that feeling, but I don't think there is something that replicates that in the business world, in whatever you're doing out of being an athlete. It's really difficult to find that feeling.
yeah, I have the feeling of the job, it's good, and your success of what you work.
Yeah, to
like,
challenge you, to
Yeah.
go
I think it's
higher.
Find this.
Maybe there is.
Yeah, I don't know.
We just haven't found it yet. Maybe there is, like, when you reach, I don't know, like a certain quota in your business or something, and then you reach it, but then you're like, hey, now I need to do more.
Yeah.
Like that feeling.
It's a circle,
Yeah, it's
You've
a
got it,
circle of
and
life.
then after- Always.
So yeah, I believe you'll find it. We'll all find it one day. But it's rare. You can't describe it into words how it feels. And even when you're living it and in that moment, you don't realize until later on. You're like, oh, damn it, it passed already. But yeah, I'd say those things are what is the hardest part behind like standing on a podium and holding a medal or getting the score that you want. Like everything before it. But we do it every day because we like to be pushed.
Yep.
Like that's what we
Exactly.
even if we say we don't enjoy it, we're choosing to do it every day, which means we like it.
We like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so now last question for this part. If a young skater was going through the same kind of doubt or public pressure, what would you tell them?
Like public pressure, like being on stage.
Or like, like all this stuff, like haters on social media.
Okay. Like to a younger.
Yeah.
Okay. If there was one thing that I could say to a younger athlete or performer or the younger generation, going into the world of performance, pressure, judgment, everything, or I think just the world now, especially with the world being so much with an online presence, I think that's just an even bigger part. Like if you don't have social media nowadays, like I think you're doing it wrong. I don't know. Or you're really cool because you don't have social media. I don't know how it works, but the pressure and like the judgment that comes with it, I think approaching your way of living your life and your mental aspect behind it should be from a place of you're doing this for yourself. You're living your life for yourself. Yep. You're not living your life for anybody else. And why would you go and ask hundreds of other people what your next step in life should be if that's not what you want? And if you want something, why would you second guess what you want because of other people? Like your instinct and your intuition is right. Yep. Like your gut feeling, is correct. It's always right. And I think going forward in life with your life choices, with everything, should be from your heart and your gut feeling of what you want, not what others want. Yeah. And I think that's a hard thing to do, though, because you're always going to have people not wanting the same as you and for you, even family. Like they want your life path to be a certain way and maybe you don't. And that's where the challenges come in. But that's where I do believe staying true to yourself and what your gut feeling and heart say is the most important in the long run. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, I'm agree. I'm like, yeah, it's really profound. Okay, now. So after everything you've been through, it's a lot. Who is Olivia today?
Oh God, who is Olivia today?
A complete person.
A beautiful person.
Thank you. I wouldn't even say a complete person yet because I feel like there's such a big part of me that I don't know, which is the Olivia beyond skating. I'm experiencing it a little bit, but once I actually hang up my skates and I'm done, then I'm going to find a whole new version of myself. Yes. Good luck to John-Luc Baker because he's going to be like, who is that?
I can tell you, yeah.
Who is Olivia today? I feel like I'm a person that wants to make an impact in the world that I'm currently living. And I am somebody that wants to I want to leave my mark. Like I want to, I was going to say something, but it doesn't sound right. You know when a dog pees on a tree and they mark their territory? I want to leave I'm not going to do that. Don't worry. No, but I want to leave my mark and leave my name in this part of my life and my career, which is the skating world. Whether that's with medals or with moments created or with the art that I put on the ice or with how I speak in interviews, I want to have left my legacy there like a lot of athletes and artists in the skating world have. There's not one specific person that I admire and love in the skating world, but there's so many names that you remember from this historic sport. And not just for their skating, but for their artistry, for their personality, for their presence as a person. And I think I'm naturally doing that. And I just want to show up as my truest self every single day in competition, in training, online, and just let Olivia naturally flow and come out and leave her mark in the figure skating world in my own way.
Well, I can tell you that you're already someone,
thank you.
I'm following you.
Thank you.
And when I see your content, I'm like, wow.
Thank you.
This woman is beautiful soul inside and
I think you already make your touch to figure skating. So
Thank
people
you.
remember you, for sure.
Which is crazy because, thank you, I really appreciate that. Because a name that comes to mind, Shailene Bourne.
Yep.
She is an unbelievable skater.
Yep.
Like, unbelievable. But I'm not an unbelievable skater. I'm a good skater. But, like, when I watch her, I'm like, oh, shit, she can do stuff that, like, I cannot do.
Yeah, but
But,
it's
like-
what you think.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's
But I do want to be remembered as that, as an athlete and as a skater, of course. But, like, beyond that as well, like, I want people to connect with me, not just from what I'm doing on the ice, but in other ways. And, like, just a bit more of, like, a personal connection. Like, you're watching me on the ice, and you're watching me as an athlete and a performer, but you're also watching me as Olivia Smart, who's...
Yeah, because I think you start to make your mark because like you start to have like I think what people like and fan like is personality, but
Yeah.
the people can be the most true of the
Mhm.
story. So I think like you got this,
Thank you.
especially when you like speak about like commentary or some like really stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The people like find a way to be closer of your story.
Yeah.
So I think it's good.
You know
Thank
what?
you.
The first time I saw you on ice, it was at the Grand Prix France. You was with Adrien, and you know the rhythm dance was Greece,
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
and free dance. You had an incredible like. Actually, it was my favorite program.
Oh, the clown program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I think about Olivia Smart, is this month I was in the tribune watching you, and I was like, oh my god, I want to be like her, because actually, yeah, you skate like, I don't know how to say, but you perform. You like this. You do it by passion.
Mm-hmm.
So much people skate just because, you know, they want medal and success and all that stuff. But you do it by passion. And that's what I like
Wow.
from you.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
like,
you so much. Well, that's really, really sweet. And that's something that like I resonate with Tim with as well, is like he loves what he does. You can tell, like
yeah.
he just wanted to skate, not for the medals. And then the success and medals came, and they always came in the most unexpected moments.
Yeah.
And I think that's because we were so devoured into the love for our sport. Going back to like having a personality as an athlete and online, and just as an athlete and performer, it's kind of sad because there's so many athletes in our skating world that have such incredible personalities, and like as people off the ice, like so many people I know in our skating world, like you speak to them and you're like, my God, these people are amazing. They have so many stories to tell. Like every person I meet, I'm like, yeah, you should write a book, like because of just how they are. But it's sad because we don't get to see that so much. It's better nowadays with social media. People are able to show themselves more out of the rink and off the ice. But if I could sit down like our skating community in one big hall and just have everybody speak, because you'd be able to see who these people are beyond the performance and the ice. I think that's really special. But the people online don't get to see that enough. They don't get to appreciate who the person is beyond the performance and the skater.
And you don't know what is behind the story behind of the skater.
Yes.
You know that we all have story.
Yeah.
And
Everybody.
we are all here because of the story, you know? So like that's why I'm doing this podcast with Jocré, because I love to just know the story of the person, the experience, the of the thing in their life, because it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's like really like you sit and you're like, oh my God.
You're like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whoa, that makes sense. Like there's a whole package. What is it called? Like it's there's building blocks. Like you build a home, but you don't just build the home. You have so many different levels and foundations to get to the full package.
Yeah.
So yeah. Wow. That was really deep, guys. I'm swaying in a good way.
What is your mindset for the next Olympic? Is difference of when you go in Beijing or
very different? Very different. Someone asked me this recently as well, and it was hard for me to answer, but now I think it's more clear. Training and getting to the Olympics in Beijing was so stressful because we only had one spot for Spain, and we had two strong ice dance teams, and that one spot. And it was really like that moment in my career where I was like, if I don't make this, which I didn't the Olympics prior, there was one spot, same thing. The other Spanish team went, and we didn't. Then having that heartbreak of not making it back then to then knowing I might not make it again this year, I was like, I can't let that happen. Like, I cannot live the rest of my life knowing that I didn't make the Olympics in 2018 and I'm not making the Olympics like this time.
Yeah.
But I also know in this sport, anything can happen. So I was like, Adrian and I really had to put our heads together and just make it like our biggest life goal in that year. And we did, and we trained our asses off. We made it our priority.
Yep.
And I wouldn't have been able to do it without the support system that I had back then, because it was during COVID. It was very different. But there was 3 competitions that we had to compete at with the other Spanish team and qualify for the games. And it was so stressful. I don't like looking back now, I don't know how I did it. Like, it was so stressful. First competition, compete against them. We were 0.10 or 0.20 ahead.
I remember.
Like this, but I was like, it's still a win. But then nationals, then head to head, because it was whoever had the highest overall score goes to the games. So it's pretty basic. Nationals, we finished 9 points ahead. So that was a great gap. But then we had Europeans. That was the last competition before we would find out who goes to the games. But like, anything can happen, which is the scariest part. And like, you could have one fall and lose 9 points and not go to the games. And that was running through my head, which is so unhealthy. But we made it. We did it. We were ahead after Europeans and made it to the Olympics. But that year, I think just the obstacles that it took to get there made me going to the Olympics even more special than I could have imagined, because I didn't just have it like handed to me. I had to work my ass off for it, which we have to work our ass for it anyway. But back then, in where I was in my career, I wasn't at a place where I deserved to be handed the ticket. I had to work for it, and it shaped me into the athlete that I am today as well. Like, that experience and that stress and that commitment and pressure, and we made it, and it was fantastic. But this year is very different because I found out we were going to the games this summer because we made 2 spots for Spain at Worlds in April. So then we know, having 2 spots for Spain, the other Spanish team got to go to Beijing to qualify themselves, and our spot was secured for us. So already knowing that we're going to the Olympics and training the full season, knowing like we have this huge advantage at the end of the year to go to the Olympics, is such a different feeling. But of course, I'm not taking this season lightly. I'm still giving myself the pressure. But knowing that our goal is to peak in February, or our goal is to peak in January versus peaking earlier in the year, is so different. Because back then it was like, hey, we have to peak like at Spanish nationals. We have to peak earlier in order to even just qualify for the games. This year, this season, of course, we have big goals for the Grand Prix season and for Europeans in the games, but we're not ready to compete at Europeans in the Olympics tomorrow. We'll be ready when it's Europeans in the Olympics. So the trajectory and the planning for this season is very different. We have 2 harder programs. We're pushing ourselves this season to make the memories worth it at the end of the season, which doesn't mean that it's easy now. And the goal set is timed differently. It's a very different experience to 4 years ago, and it will be a very different Olympic Games in general. So I feel like I'm getting to experience a whole new Olympic season, like a completely different one to what many other people would compare to another Olympic season. Like, this isn't my first Olympics, but it might feel like it, because it'll feel like a proper Olympics when we're there as well. It's not during COVID. So yeah, very grateful for that.
What drives you now when you step on ice? What do you feel that the audience doesn't get to see?
the biggest thing for me that I feel like the audience doesn't get to see is the training aspect, the parts, the 1, 2, 3s, the run throughs, the run 2, 3s, those things where like we're dying. And like, okay, a competition like in China, for example, I didn't look the most fresh at the end of the program, but in training, we definitely don't. And that side of like the commitment and the athlete sports side of what we do, a competition, you want to look proper, you want to look organized, you don't want to argue with your partner. Like you're on an official practice, you're not going to argue with your partner. You're going to, if something happens, you're going to put it aside and you're going to speak about it afterwards. But in training, sometimes, you know, like the energy's different. You're training. Like this is your time to like push yourself to your limit. And yeah, like Tim's in the bucket throwing up after a free dance competition. Free dance running training. You don't see that at competition. Nope. So like those moments, I'm over here like leaning against the board, looking like I'm not an Olympic athlete because I'm dying, and like Tim's throwing up in the corner, like someone's in the corner using their inhaler. Like it's that real life stuff of being an athlete that we don't get to see on the ice, because you get on the ice and it's perfection. Yep. Your makeup, your hair, there's not one hair off. Nope. Your costume's intact. Like you look like you just walked off the red carpet. But like the moments it takes to get there on its own, even like the costume process, like you show up to competition in this beautiful costume, but like what it took you to get there, the design, the colors, the making, like those little steps, the same as training, like people don't see where it came from. And that's something that I think we do lack in our sport, is like the lead up to the end of the season, like what your first competition looks like versus your last. Yeah. Like that glow up. Yeah. But that's like 6 months, 7 months of training. So it makes sense it's gotten better, but you don't get to appreciate that shift and that journey that's gone on. Even like if you're learning a new lift or something. Like Tim and I's choreo lift from our free dance last year, from our first competition, which was Neville Horn Trophy, where we fell on it, to like the World Championships in Boston, like two very, very different experiences, but the same lift, but just with more time and training, and that aspect of it, showing the real blood, sweat, and tears to the perfection that we show up at competition on the ice as. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's fun because when you practice in your first time in summer, and you try to give your best, but it's look like a shit.
Yeah. You watch the video after, you're like, oh god.
And you see the idea, but you not like have this, and in end of season, mostly your program look like you want, and this is like super improved.
Yeah, the quote, trust the process. Yeah. I always forget about that. I should have it tattooed on my head, or on my arm at least, just to remind myself every day.
Do you have any ritual or special stuff you do in competition you want to share with us? Like,
in competition. Okay, this is new as of this season. When I was younger, I used to be able to listen to music, and like I would listen to like heavy, like dance music, like EDM, like techno, like a psycho. Like I would like really be able to like let my energy get into that. Now I'm over here like trying to like calm my nervous system. I get very nervous more now than I used to.
Oh,
I'd say. I don't know whether it's the pressure that I feel more now, or if it's just because I think we get nervous because we love what we do. And I think I've fallen more in love with what I do now, and I think it's hit me in a different way. So I think the nerves have gotten stronger because the love's gotten stronger. That's what I'm telling myself anyway. But anyway, I used to listen to like a lot of like good dance music and heavy music when I was warming up. Now the only thing I can listen to is the Billie Eilish album, her new album.
Okay.
And I listened to 4 specific songs on that album on repeat
Oh,
because they're very calming.
so you do like meditation. You're like,
Yes,
It's fun because it's absolutely not the same for me.
I know.
Like,
He has his
in-
big headphones on, and I know you're listening to dance music.
in China, it's the first time I listen like techno music, and I have one song name is Boom Boom, and I heard like 10 times before the recording.
The fact that the song is called Boom Boom just says it all. The song is definitely not.
Absolutely no.
But I could tell the energies in the warm up area. Everyone's different. Like someone's got headphones on, like rocking out, and then there's me laid on my back, like. Like one of the songs makes me so emotional as well, and I let myself get like into the feeling of emotional, like nearly crying in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that's been my ritual this year. I love listening to that album. Sometimes even on the bus on the way to the rink, I'll have it in my headphones, looking out the window, like having my like movie moment.
yeah.
I'm like, I don't know why I do it to myself, but that has been my ritual so far, and I really enjoy it.
But see, for me, it was like I was listening to music, and of course, I was a little bit stressed. So, like, forget out the pressure. I was like, I remember there was so much music in my head, and I was just like singing and dancing and jumping everywhere. It was like
everybody has a different ritual in general, like, and you can't judge it. Like, there's one guy in the warm-up area, I don't know, boxing, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, but at the same time, I'm like, that's what you need. That's what you need. I'm going to go meditate. Like, everybody's different. We had our off-ice trainer from Montreal come to China with us this season, and he's coming to all of our events with us this year. And one comment that he made was, he's like, why is everybody running? And I'm like, it's a warm-up. He's like, yeah, but you're figure skaters. You're not runners or marathon runners. I was like, yeah, but everyone's different. He's like, yeah, but you don't run. I was like, yeah, because I don't run, like, but other people do. And for him, just seeing the difference in what each athlete does for warm-up. I remember seeing a video of the tennis warm-up for the US Open. And I was like, the difference in what everybody was doing for warm-up as a professional tennis player was crazy. It was the weirdest thing. Yeah. So it makes sense in figure skating that we all do different things.
Yeah, sometimes you watch it. But well, I'm not doing that. I'm not boxing.
Should I be doing that?
Yeah. Should I do that? Maybe. Okay, I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will stay with my meditation.
Yes.
And as always, on So Geo, we will end by giving the mic to our guest. This is your moment, Olivia. You can ask us anything you want. To me, Geoffrey, or both of us. Any question.
Oh.
It's your moment.
Oh, I'm ready. No, I have my question. It is for the both of you, but separate answers, I think.
Yeah, of course.
Because you are both really close, but I do believe you are both like so different in your own entity at the same time. And I do believe like opposites attract a lot. But I want to know what made you want to start this podcast? Like, what made you want to sit behind a microphone, behind a camera, and talk amongst yourselves, but also to other people, like, and hear their stories? Like, I'm curious to know what your intention with that was.
So, like, for me, from my accident and my sexual assault, I guess I needed to speak, to say the truth and, like, to help people, because by my experience, I can, like, just show to people they are not alone, and there's so many people who is going through what I gone through. So, like, I wanted to just show the way, because when I had my accident, I was in my bed, hospital bed, and I had so many questions. What I will be, what is my future, if I can walk, I would be vegetable in my bed, like all that stuff. And I was trying to see on social media if there was someone who had big trauma or big accident who can answer my question,
Oh, wow.
And actually, there was no one. So that's why I started social media, because I decided to be this person to show to people all my rehabilitation and how it's going, and and like that's why I started social media. But for the podcast, it's like, I was craving for performance, competition, and stress and all that stuff. I guess now I'm craving for experience and the story and to know what is behind the person, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's Olivia. She's a figure skater. She's good, but what is behind her? What is her story, you know? Because she is on ice today for a reason. Everything happened for a reason, you know? So like, now that's what I crave. I want to know what is behind it. And if you could just give me your experience, you know, because maybe one day I would go through something that you went through and I would just think about your story and say, oh, okay, so Olivia went through that. So maybe I could do that to go through. And, you know, it's for me, but it's for everyone who is watching it.
Life lessons, right?
Exactly. Like, yeah, life lesson, personal development, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's for me.
It's very good. Yeah, it's like Solène's life lessons. Yeah, you can learn from other people's experiences, and they don't write books about that in school. You can't go to school and open a book on what you've experienced and learn how to deal with that. Like we were talking about earlier, you don't open a book in school on how to make pasta or to do your laundry. Like you learn that nowadays, you learn that from people online. And that's what you were looking for and what you were missing. And now you're doing that yourself. That's really cool.
And for you?
I think I start this podcast for prove to myself I can do everything. Really, literally. Because I have so difficult to speak about what I feel or what I kind of experiment in my life. So I think this podcast make me like more comfortable, and I learn to the experience of the other people. We are all human, and we can like have different like experience, do bad stuff, and be good person. So it's given me the opportunity to let me know more what I am, and this is important for me. So
that's amazing. We've gone closer, I'd say, over this past summer and the season, and I already feel like your presence and your confidence.
Because a long time ago I read some phrase like, I need nobody for be what I am. I'm agree with this. In somehow we are what we are because of what we do, but in somehow we need to share all what we are. Like, you need to do the excuse of the people you hurt, or you need the respect of the people you not respect before. And you need to say thank you to the people help you to upgrade. So I learned this, and I really want in this podcast, we can find a way to like all people have the voice and can speak about what's the life be.
So very cool. Very, very cool. Wow. Guys, those are really good answers. But like I said, like that's why I wanted to ask you separately, because I figured you would both have a different answer, but the reason why you came together for a reason to make this podcast, and in two different ways, but aligned together on it. So it's really cool.
And it's two brain. You have different vision and I have different vision, different opinion. And when we speak about like question, we could ask you or whatever person, and he have good ideas and I have good ideas, and he's like, it's complete. It's my other half.
Yeah, you need that.
And I'm completely crazy person. I'm jumping at 3 a.m. of the morning in my bed, and he's more like sleeping peacefully, but like I'm like crazy.
Opposites attract.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess it's a great fit. Great fit for the podcast.
It is. It is. No, it is. Just from my experience and sitting with you both today, like I forget that there's cameras here because it's so natural and easy to talk to you both.
Yeah, it's the moment.
Yeah.
It's the moment.
Very cool.
So thank you so much, Olivia.
Thank you
for sharing your story, your truth, and your emotion with us. You remind us that behind every medal there's courage, vulnerability, and a lot of humanity.
Yes, it's exactly what we want in So Geo podcast. We want to see beyond the medal or the podium. So you are the perfect example.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
And for our next episode, we are welcoming a very special guest. We can't say too much yet, but let's just say it's someone whose story will take you deep into another kind of discipline, another kind of strength.
The next episode, it's in French, so make sure to turn in. And even if you don't understand everything, you feel the emotion. So
Thank you again, Olivia, for your authenticity and your energy. We wish you all the best for Sheffield and for the 2026 Olympic Games.
Thank you.
And thank you all for listening. This is So Geo, where we go behind the success and behind the medal. And by the way, now on, our podcast is on Spotify and Apple Music. No, Apple Podcast. Yeah, it's a big step for us. So, yeah, thank you so much, Olivia.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for having me.